I just want to start by thanking everyone here at this event for making this historic event so successful and so memorable, I think. I also want to thank the keynote speaker, Catherine Phillips, who, by the way, I love your book, it's fantastic, who just gave such great insight into what BDD is and how to help people with BDD. And of course, David Veal, the inspirational ears, and of course, Rob Wilson as well. And all the inspirational speakers who are here today, who have, really, every single one of you have made this day perfect and have made this day, with your courage and hope, have made this day really inspirational. This conference means so much to me because I personally suffered from BDD. My experience was probably not different to many of the people in this room. But what made it awful was not just the 6 months housebound or the tears in my mum's eyes seeing me suffer, but it was the shame and embarrassment and loneliness I felt, because I think it's a very lonely illness that people do suffer from. I saw BDD as a person. I tried to see it as a bully, someone who told you you weren't good enough. Well, I'm here today to tell you you are all good enough in the audience today. I've got to say that. And it worries me the high level of young and old people who feel this way. The high level of suicide associated with BDD. And I sometimes ask myself, why should a person suffer this trauma alone? I think what I want to talk about in this speech is the future. Where do we go from here? What direction do you want to choose? Do you want to face the BDD, or do you want to go back to the horrors of it? And that's out to BDD sufferers, psychologists here today, and psychiatrists here today. The BDD Foundation can't win this fight alone. It takes everyone in this room and beyond to unite and stand up and be counted in this fight against this awful illness. If we unite on this issue, we can make great change. Reaching towards a future where the teenager in England who is suffering from BDD can get help locally, fast. Reaching to a future where the family in Paris can learn how to help the BDD sufferer who is a loved one because of a campaign run by one of you here today. Reaching towards a future where the taboos of BDD is vanity and narcissism are banished because of a volunteer telling the world that's not the truth. Reaching to a future where the media doesn't call BDD selfie addiction, but defines it as a real mental illness, which it actually is. Reaching out to a future where psychologists and psychiatrists in the Highlands of Scotland can give as much support to BDD sufferers as those in LA and London. We can achieve this future by all of you leaving this room today with a mission to make change. It's every individual in this room that can make that change. And I just want to say, by volunteering or setting up your own BDD support group at a local level, from Newcastle to London, from Birmingham to Portsmouth, from Stockholm all the way over to New York, we need to start doing this. By volunteering and donating at least £1 to the BDD Foundation could help so many people here today. Setting up your own campaign on Twitter or Facebook, telling the world about BDD. With our courage, our compassion, our hope, we will make sure that everyone who suffers from BDD and everyone who looks in that broken mirror is not alone. Let's do it for David Petro, who sadly lost his life. Let's do it for every person who suffers from BDD, young and old. From London to LA, Paris to Edinburgh, Stockholm to Copenhagen. For every sufferer who suffers from BDD, let's do it today. Thank you.